Welcome back to Saturday Hashmarks. My name is Brian, also known as Trojan Bias on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. I'm joined here by Nick Haskell. Nick, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing today?
Doing good. Lot of crazy games this week. Lots of surprises this week in college football. First and foremost, Penn State loses to Northwestern 22-21. Drew Aller out for the season. And then today, James Franklin fired, no longer the head coach at Penn State.
I could see it coming. This writing was on the wall, especially after they lost to UCLA. I mean, they just needed to separate. It's a bummer for Drew Aller. I heard they're trying to figure out, see if the NCAA can give him another year. Maybe he comes back, plays again. But yeah, James Franklin's run his course. He collects that, what was it, $49 million.
$49 million buyout. So makes sense for Drew Aller. This is their sixth game of the season. So past that 4-game redshirt year.
But I mean, yeah, it's head start for the head coaching search and get a good look and see how the backup quarterback is.
And like you said, we saw it coming. I mean, Penn State had national championship expectations this year. They were supposed to finally be able to win the Big Ten. Aller was supposed to be a Heisman candidate. They lose their wideout game to Oregon, which is a loss that was forgivable.
Yeah.
It's their wideout game, but it's a loss that's a forgivable loss. It goes to overtime where they lose. But then losing to UCLA and now losing to Northwestern, I think those are both two inexcusable losses. I think Franklin is a good program builder of getting you from a bad spot to a good spot, but can't make the jump from a good spot to a great spot.
I agree. I mean, it's the first time ever under Franklin that they've started 0-3 in conference play.
Yeah, and that's not what Penn State was looking for. I mean, not what any team is ever looking for, but not what the expectations were for this Penn State team this year. Yeah. So I agree with you. I think it's time to move on. The James Franklin era is over. Now, I didn't watch the press conference, but I did see that apparently in the press conference, they asked him point blank, "You want to be the Penn State head coach still?" And he kind of gave a runaround answer, didn't say yes to that, which also, if you're not super excited to be at a team, then you're probably just it's not working out.
He's probably thinking about that $50 million.
Yeah,
I mean, I would be.
I mean, for $50 million,
best job in the world, fired college football head coach.
Yeah, look at Cliff Kingsbury when he got fired and was living it up for a while.
Yeah.
Now, also, Texas beats Oklahoma 23-6. This is a Texas team that last week we were saying was terrible. Like, we thought this was a bad Texas team, and they have looked it up until this week. All of a sudden, Arch Manning, who has looked terrible all year, looked like he remembered how to play football. Like, he remembered that he was a good quarterback.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, he looked all right. I mean, they didn't ask him to do much.
Compared to where he was, I'll say he looked a lot better. But
he played better.
I think I'll settle for play better.
I mean, their defense, Texas' defense is just super good. He just needs to manage the game. Texas will win because their defense is so good. Just like Oklahoma. I mean, I feel like Mateer came back too early.
That was my next point. Well, when I was watching that game, now granted I was at the Coliseum, but there's a spot for season ticket holders and boosters to watch games. So I was watching that game. It almost seemed like Mateer was hurt to me still.
He probably is. It was like, 14 days post-surgery?
So, yeah, it was supposed to be a 4-week healing period, and they gave him 2 weeks to heal. And then he came in, and I was seeing him miss throws that any college quarterback should be able to make. I was seeing him miss some bad throws. And look, Venables, I know you want him there. He's probably better than Hawkins, but I don't think he was better than Hawkins would have been yesterday.
Yep.
And I think that's where Venables has to look at it and bench him, not only for the game's sake, but for his own health. You can't have a guy that's 80% in a very tough matchup, and that hand gets hit again, and now he's out for the season and possibly longer because he's not healed. I think that is a failure by Venables to not only protect his players, but also then protect the game and win a game. And
yeah, I mean, I feel like Texas still would have won with Hawkins in, but just by the way that defense was flying around and the way they were actually able to move the ball on Oklahoma's defense, I mean, the SEC is kind of wide open now.
The SEC is...
We'll get to the other teams later, but yeah, I mean...
The SEC is wide open here. And there's another conference that I think is also wide open that we'll get to. So, moving on to the next game of Indiana beating Oregon 30-10 in Autzen Stadium. I don't think anybody saw that coming. There's going to be people that are go, oh, I knew Indiana was going to win. I called Indiana win. I don't think anyone realistically knew that was coming.
No. I mean, I have it written in my notes here. First word is wow. I mean, Indiana's legit. Signetti built up his culture quick. Brought all those guys over from JMU and really excelled at getting those guys out of the portal. I truly think they might be a top 3 team in the country now.
Now, that's another thing I was going to ask. Do you think that Indiana is legit, or do you think Oregon were frauds?
I mean, I think Indiana's legit.
You think Indiana's
I think
legit?
Oregon's legit. I mean, everyone plays bad every once in a while. You're not going to play perfect every single game. But I'm not too sure. I think Indiana is just legit.
I agree with you. I think Indiana is a legit Big Ten contender. I would not have thought that at this time last year, or I did not think that at this time last year, and I think that they kind of showed that by getting beat pretty bad in the college football playoffs. But that's another year that they have gone on that same trajectory that they went on last year. I think Indiana is legit. I think they have a legit shot. And looking at their schedule, I don't think they're going to lose a game this year. I don't think they're going to lose a game this year. You look at it, they don't match up against Ohio State. And pulling up their schedule, they have Michigan State, UCLA, Maryland, Penn State, Wisconsin, and Purdue.
It's a fairly easy schedule. I think we can kind of almost book their ticket to the Big Ten championship game.
Yeah, them and I think Ohio State right now. Now, the Ohio State, you got to be careful, though. They do have to play Michigan, and obviously Michigan has had Ryan Day's number every year since he's been the head coach. And if they win out, except for that Michigan, if they lose to Michigan, there's going to be a big battle for that second spot, right? Like USC, 1 loss on the season. Oregon, 1 loss on the season. Michigan would have 1 loss on the season. Even Northwestern, I don't think they're going to win out, but Nebraska, same thing. They would have a loss to USC.
There's a lot of 1-loss teams.
But there's a lot of 1-loss teams, and I think there's probably 3 or 4 other teams that could win out, or at least have and only have that 1 loss. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out in the Big Ten. But I think the Big Ten is completely wide open now, especially getting into our next game here. UCLA beats Michigan State 38-13 in what was really the little brother JV game to the 2 blue bloods playing each other. Another one, I don't think anyone saw that coming. I think some people may have. I think I definitely have that game circled, or I did definitely have that game circled. But I don't think that anyone thought that UCLA would go on a run here.
Not really. I mean, they got the fired head coach bump for now 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
We'll see how long they can carry it. Jerry Neuheisel has been amazing with that offense. He's completely changed it around. I feel like they're running a whole new scheme.
Yeah.
And Nico's thriving.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that the biggest problem with UCLA was their scheme, and Neuheisel looks like he has completely changed that and has made this a competitive football team. I think I texted you yesterday during that game and just said, is Neuheisel the best offensive coordinator ever? Coming into on a short week and then having 1 week to prepare and completely changing a team's trajectory like that. Nico was look at that. Now Nico is looking like Nico. I think that Neuheisel has just done a tremendous job over the last 2 weeks, and I hate saying that, but it is the truth here.
Yeah.
Now, then in the Big Brother varsity level matchup, we had USC beating Michigan 31-13. And again, I don't think a lot of people saw that coming. I mean, you both said that we thought USC could win that game. It was a winnable game. I didn't see a 31-13 win.
Me either. I mean, shout out to the West Coast, USC, UCLA, beating Michigan over there, Michigan State.
What was it that Dave Portnoy was saying? That it's soft West Coast football and
soft coast football,
soft coast football, and whatever. USC and UCLA proving that's not the case there.
I mean, yeah, it's a huge win for USC. Michigan, actually, I mean, they kind of looked awful on both sides of the ball for most of the game. Haynes getting hurt really screwed up their rush offense.
Yes.
Traveling on the road is always tough in college football, but they got the brakes beaten off them. Credit to that defense. I thought they would struggle against the run. They stood up to it. forced turnovers. Underwood was never comfortable. Never.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, USC's run game, running with that third back, King Miller, I think 18 carries for 154 yards. Just absolutely insane. The depth that they have might be the best in college football. But I know Sanders and Wayman just got hurt, so we'll see how good that depth really is. Jacoby Lane and Mekhi Lemon, probably the best 1-2 wide receivers in college football also. They got a big test the next few weeks. Notre Dame. They go to Oregon, I think, 2 weeks after that.
So it's Notre Dame and then a bye week, which they just came off one, and then they go to Nebraska.
Oregon's later.
Then they'll host Northwestern, which is a Friday night game.
Nebraska will be tough.
Host Iowa, and then at Oregon before finishing the year with UCLA at home. With that, so there's a few things that I want to say about this USC game. First and foremost, the energy that was in the Coliseum last night is next to none. That is the most energized, loudest game I have ever seen at the Coliseum. Usually you have some sections that are very clearly not full, and this game was not like that. You looked around and it was a sold-out stadium. And it wasn't a Nebraska sellout where someone bought a bunch of tickets to call it a sellout. This was a legit sellout.
Yeah, it sounded loud on TV. I can't remember the last time it was sold out there. I remember going to games against Notre Dame when I was like 10 years old and sitting up at the very top because that was like the only seats we could get. We're like 10 rows from the top of the Coliseum. Every seat is packed.
Yeah.
And it's kind of nice to see it. It's almost back to that.
Yeah. No, it was an absolutely insane atmosphere to be at. Didn't start super energetic, but once USC opened up with a touchdown and they had a big sack later against Michigan that they sacked Bryce Underwood, it started getting loud. And by the third and fourth quarters, it was hyped. It was real loud there. Like I said, never seen that at the Coliseum that I have been to, obviously. I wasn't going to games when I was 8. Just, playing sports all weekend and wasn't able to make it to games. But so I wasn't at those games, but this is the most I've seen it played. Now, from that game, you could see that USC completely out-physicaled Michigan. Their offensive and defensive line both out-physicaled their counterpart. Jaden Mayava looked poised. In the few times there was pressure, he was able to escape it, keep his eyes downfield, and put the ball where he wanted it. What I'm most impressed with, though, and it's just kind of a 1A to the out-physical part, was USC's running game. Now, Eli Sanders went out, didn't even get a carry. Didn't even have a carry. He was carted off early in the game. He had 1 reception for 11 yards, but didn't get a carry. Wayman Jordan, who has been our number one back, only had 11 carries for 39 yards. Now, he hobbled off the sideline, or hobbled off the field onto the sideline, fell down, and then 10-ish minutes later, they carted him to the locker room. He did end up coming back out on an air boot and crutches, and I will give Waymo all the credit in the world because he hopped from the tunnel to the USC sideline on his good foot, trying to get there super quick. Wanted to be back with his brothers there. So all the credit to Wayman, but even more credit to walk on 4th string running back King Miller. Now, USC's 3rd string running back Brian Jackson was listed as out, but King Miller had 18 carries, and I believe all those came in the second half. 158 yards. They had that big 3rd and 20, and he had a 49-yard run.
Electric
run there. Had a touchdown. But we did see Brian Jackson come into the game. Now, again, he was listed as out, so it's kind of surprising to see him come in. Lincoln said in the press conference that he has been dealing with turf toe. He's been limited at practices, but he's been doing some light warm-ups with the team. They called the league office, and the league office said that was fine to put him in, so they did clear it, got it okayed before putting him in. Again, listed as out. But to come in and play through that, and you're on your 3rd and 4th string running backs, that is insane. Then you had Mekhi Lemon,
without
obviously.
2 O-linemen also.
And 1 your center. Your best offensive lineman in Elijah Page, and then your center, Killian O'Connell, out. So kind of shaky at the offensive line, or what we thought would be shaky at the offensive line was solid, and also hats off to the O-line there. But Mekhi Lemon, 9 receptions, 93 yards, 1 touchdown. Walker, Lyons, Lake McCree, both 2 receptions. Walker for 42 yards and Lake for 41 yards. Jacoby Lane, 5 receptions, 35 yards. Now, looking at this, we have 9 receivers get receptions, or 9 targets between receivers, tight ends, and running backs get receptions. Obviously, Lake McCree had that fumble, and Jaden Maeva did throw an interception. So, but very good game for the Trojans there. And like we were saying with the Big Ten, I think this really does open it up for them. I think they are a team that could absolutely make it to the Big Ten title. They do need some things to go their way with that one loss. But I think if they win out, they're going to put themselves in a very good spot to make that.
They just have some tough games coming up, and
they do.
We'll see.
And I think it comes down to, can they beat Notre Dame? Can they beat Oregon? If they win both of those games, and if they don't make it to the Big Ten championship game, they are in the playoffs. Now looking at another game here, kind of another one of those surprise upsets. Florida State loses to Pitt 34-31. I know it kind of seems like kind of weird calling that an upset, but remember 2 weeks ago, this Florida State team was 1A, 1B with Miami in the ACC.
Yep.
And then they lose to Virginia.
Crazy.
Then they lose to Miami, and now they lose to Pitt. Norvell this season has completely spiraled out of control for Mike Norvell. I think he may be on the hot seat after this 3-game stretch. It would not surprise me if they fired him, just because of what those expectations were and how good they started the season off. So it was a big shock to me.
It makes honestly zero sense how they can't win in the conference. They're 0-3 this year. They lost their last 5 to end the season last year. They're 8 straight losses in ACC play, and ACC is like the 4th hardest conference in the Power 4. I think it's Mike Norvell's fault. I think he's run his course. Pitt, credit to them. That true freshman quarterback, I don't even know how to pronounce his last name, but he's a dog. Completely reinvigorated that offense. He had 385 total yards and just lit up Florida State's defense. That actually held Ty Simpson in check and held that Bama offense in check.
And exactly that. This is a team that beat Alabama to start the year, and then now all of a sudden they cannot win a conference game. Aren't even looking like a good team. I mean, they had that late comeback against Miami, but you could tell Cristobal had taken his foot off the gas there. So it didn't even really look like wasn't a good loss for them. I'm with you. I think Mike Norvell probably gone after this year.
Yeah, I think especially if they don't finish well, going 2-10 last year, and then let's say they finish, what are they, 3-3 right now, 4-3? If they don't make a bowl game, he's got to go.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And then some not upsets, but some very close games going on this week. We had Ole Miss barely beating Washington State 24-21. We had Tennessee barely beating Arkansas 34-31. A great game to start the day with. We had Alabama beating Mizzou 27-24 in a game that was a very close game, and that was a battle all the way through. Both teams looked really good there. And then Georgia beats Auburn 20-10. Now, there is something or 2 things I want to bring up about that game. We saw the phantom timeout happen, right? So what happened there? There is a clear shot of Kirby on the sideline. So let's set the stage here. So it's 3rd and 9. There is about 13 minutes to play. Play clock is running down. Georgia's on offense. Georgia has a 3-point lead. And the clock's running down, and Gunnar Stockton is looking around. He's trying to point things out. He's trying to point out protections. Clock is running down. With 1 second left, they call a timeout. There is a shot. Well, they call a timeout. Kirby Smart says, no, I didn't call a timeout. I was clapping my hands. I was clapping my hands and trying to tell the officials that Auburn was clapping their hands, which is a defensive delay of game penalty for signals. There is a clear shot of him making a T. And look, I've clapped a lot in my life.
You ain't clapping like that.
I've never clapped like this. And I don't know if Kirby Smart immediately just went, I should not have called a timeout there and made that up, or if he really just was thinking, I'm clapping, but made the T. I don't know. He very clearly calls a timeout there.
Yeah.
And the refs say, okay, fine. We'll reset the play clock to 25 seconds. Georgia avoids the 5-yard delay game penalty. And gets to keep their timeout. And that I think is the SEC has been accused before of making very favorable calls for teams that have a better shot of making it as an at-large, or in the 14 playoffs, whoever had the better shot to make it to the playoffs. You literally, this is a perfect example of that. Like, right? Like Auburn, 2 losses on the year, not going to make the playoffs. Now 3 losses on the year. But Georgia only has the 1 loss. They could win out and make the playoffs as an at-large if they don't win it. This almost is like a perfect example of what people talk about. And if I'm an Auburn fan, I'm mad. I've seen calls for Auburn to leave the SEC, which any other that would be a terrible decision for them to leave that conference.
Yeah.
But I understand where they're coming from.
I mean, I don't think Auburn would have won the game if they would have granted Kirby the timeout. Like, I don't think it changed the outcome of the game.
I don't think I'm with you. I think
Auburn couldn't score on them.
I think that Georgia still ultimately would win that game because Auburn, they were up 13-10. Auburn did not score. So even if you take that away and they don't score on that possession, Georgia still wins. So I'm with you there.
Their defense is elite.
Yeah.
I mean, Stockton he was all right. They just don't have a run game at all. And I mean, as a quarterback, if you don't have a run game and you're relying on dropping back and slinging it around, it's not really going to benefit you very much. But going back to a couple of those other games, Bama, their defense looked really good.
Yes,
they shut down Ahmed Hardy. Bo Perbula had a couple turnovers. The one thing that I don't like about Bama is they don't really have a run game either. They're all Ty Simpson and rely on those receivers. But if they do find a bit more of a run game, they could be the best team in the SEC. They probably are, at this very moment, the best team in the SEC. And it's crazy to see how far they've come from week 1.
Did I miss something with Alabama? Did Jam Miller get hurt again?
I'm not sure. He might have.
I'm looking on here, and he does not have a...
He might not even have played.
Yeah, he does not look like he played at all. So that is a huge loss for them because he is a very good running back, and he does give them a rushing attack. But yeah, obviously they didn't have one yesterday. I'm with you there.
Tennessee, though, they're sneaky good, very sneaky good. Arkansas is a good team. I know they're 2-4, but they play that SEC schedule. They're full of talent. They're a good team. Arkansas actually had more offensive yards gained than them, but Tennessee ran the rock all over them. 38 carries, 273 yards as a team, just bully ball. And Ole Miss, I mean, the scoreboard was close, but they kind of outplayed them. Scoreboard was a lot closer than it should have been. What if this is the game that they normally would have lost, but they win it this year? And what if that propels them to go 11-1, 12-0, and now they're the team representing the SEC?
No, I agree with you. I'm still very high on this Tennessee team. You look at Tennessee, and if it wasn't for a missed field goal against Georgia, they would be undefeated. Everybody would be saying that they are a top 5 team. And
they'd probably be ranked ahead of Indiana or Miami right now.
I agree. And that's where it's one of those things where one missed field goal, one play, and now you're ranked 11th versus ranked up high. And that's what one of my complaints with the AP poll is. We will get to that also. But I think that this Tennessee team, I'm with you. This Tennessee team is a very good team. And then I think the last one, any thoughts on Ole Miss beating Washington State?
Just talked about that.
We're talking about Ole Miss beating Washington State?
Yeah.
Thought we only talked about
No, I just said that's the game that they win. Normally when they lose.
I completely was thinking you were talking about Tennessee there. I missed something there. Yeah, I completely missed. I was thinking Tennessee.
Big 12 games.
Yeah, let's just move on to the Big 12 games. We may cut that. We may not cut that. Close Big 12 games. We got Utah beating, I guess this isn't really close, but worth mentioning what we thought would be
This is the upset.
This is the upset. Utah beats ASU 42-10. Beat the brakes off of them.
Yeah, their defense smothered Jeff Sims in that running game. Not having Levitt hurt ASU, they probably wouldn't have won, even if Levitt had played.
Yeah.
Utah's offense ran 53 plays against ASU. 40 runs, 13 pass.
Yeah.
Absolute bully ball.
Yeah.
Domination.
I don't think that
Just
even with Levitt,
pure domination.
They would score 42 points. So
I think
I'm with
Dampier
you.
had 107 passing yards.
And I think
crazy.
This was Utah's they got out physical by Texas Tech, and it's something that you don't see happen against Kyle Whittingham. And I think this was their shot to show that, no, we are Utah, we are dominant, we are physical, we are tough.
Texas Tech
bullied them.
Texas Tech is good.
Very good. Yeah. So I think that Utah legit could have a shot to get to the Big 12 title game with one loss, especially because. Well, I shouldn't say especially because of, but in that same sense, BYU did beat U of A 33-27 in double overtime.
That was one of my upsets of the week was U of A. I was kind of rooting for him. Bear Bachmeier, your guy, he played terrible. He played terrible.
Hey, he put the team on his back.
No, their run game. They had 51 carries as a team, 258 rushing yards.
Yeah, he's a running quarterback.
BYU with him at quarterback, I mean, their defense is all right. Arizona played good enough to win. They struggled a lot on third down. I think they were 4-17. But I don't think BYU is a playoff team. I don't think they're a playoff team.
No, I don't think they're a playoff team. I think they're a team that's going to put a good run together and make a fun bowl game. They remind me a lot of, although they are not a Group of 5 school. They remind me of that Boise State team that beat Oklahoma. They're a total bowl buster team if we were still using that system. But hey, Bear Bachmeier, 22 carries, 89 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, he ran the ball well, but that's part of the run game. I'm just talking about him throwing the rock.
Oh, no, he's not.
12 of 29.
Yeah, Bear Bachmeier is not a throwing quarterback. This is a hike the ball draw, and he's not especially fast. He's just big and tough. If you took Cam Scatterbo and put him at quarterback, this is what you would get.
Yeah, 12 of 29 won't cut it.
No.
Will not cut it.
No.
The good schools won't cut it in the big bowl games. If you ever made it to the playoff, 12 of 29 won't cut it.
I'm with you. I don't think they're a playoff team. Still love Bear Bachmeier. Still love anyone who is crazy enough to wear 47 as a quarterback. So let's pull up. Let's see. Nick, there's another thing there's an elephant in the room here. You gave Drew Messmaker the commentator's curse.
I did.
Last episode, you were saying that Drew Messmaker had not thrown a pick yet. That UNT, that North Texas was going to beat South Florida. And that is not what happened.
I mean, they scored 36 points. But they gave up 63.
They gave up 63 points. And not only did they give up 63 points, but Nestamaker, he
threw 3 picks.
Yeah. Pulling up the wrong things here. Threw 3 picks. So his 0 picks going into this game and then threw 3 because of Nick. And Nestamaker, if you're out there, I think you should send him a check for that. Send him a bill for that, because that's
he should send me his NIL check.
I don't know. Do they get NIL up in North Texas?
Well, he probably gets NIL.
I don't know if they have the money for NIL. And then let's move on. We got the AP poll out earlier today. We have not talked about the AM poll. The AM poll. Me and you have not talked about the AP poll. So I am very curious to hear your thoughts. I think we're going to go through this. We'll name 5 off at a time, and kind of tell me your thoughts. So first 5, we got Ohio State, Miami, Indiana, A&M, and Ole Miss 1 through 5.
Perfectly fine with it. I mean, A&M has good wins. Ole Miss has a good win. Indiana had that great win last week, and then Miami and Ohio State are the best 2 teams in college football.
Me too. I'm okay with that. Indiana did move up to 3 after beating Oregon, but I'm okay with that because they had Oregon as the 3rd best team.
Mm-hmm.
They say, okay, Indiana beat the 3rd best team, so now they're the 3rd best team. I'm okay with that. I'm absolutely okay with that. Then 6 through 10, we got Alabama, Texas Tech, Oregon, Georgia, and LSU.
So in my opinion, I think Georgia and LSU are a bit overranked. Not by much, but I mean, you could slide a few teams up above them. I think maybe Tennessee above LSU. I mean, you obviously can't put them above Georgia, but I think sitting where they are is kind of fine. I think maybe Oregon and Alabama should switch, but other than that, I'm fine with what's going on.
And then not to cut you off there, I think that Georgia and LSU are also very overrated. Georgia, it's hard for me to rank Georgia that high when they had a scandal. They had controversy in that game against Auburn. I also forgot to mention in that game against Auburn, there was a touchdown that Auburn had scored. It was a rushing touchdown. They called it a fumble, clear shot down the line. Ball did not move, in my opinion. I think that it should have been a touchdown, but even with that, I mean, they beat Tennessee by 3 points, and they lost to Alabama by 3 points. So they have one good win on the season. I don't think that they should be ranked ninth.
Big test this weekend.
It will be a big test this weekend, taking on Ole Miss. But my bigger complaint there is LSU. LSU doesn't have a good win this year. LSU does not have a good win this year at all. You look at their biggest win is Clemson, who is very clearly not a good football team.
Yeah.
It's one of those where they had a very favorable preseason ranking, and then they beat another team that had a very favorable preseason ranking, and they go, wow, they must be a top 10 team. Then they lost by 5 to Ole Miss, which, it was 2-5 against Ole Miss. But I think to be in that top category, to be in those top 10, you need a big win. And they just don't have it. I mean, their biggest win now is South Carolina. And South Carolina hasn't really done anything. So I don't like that ranking there at all. I would drop them to 15.
I don't know about 15, but their defense is really good. Their defense is good enough to keep them. Nussmeier plays well. And, I mean, they don't have to score very many points to win a game. Which is, I mean, I think they're a little bit overranked, but like I said, their defense will keep them in a lot of games.
But they scored 20 against Florida when they had 5 interceptions. I don't think their offense is good at all.
I don't think it's good, but I mean, I don't think it's that great. But like I said, they don't only have to score 17 points to win a game. They score 20 points to win a game. An average offense should score more than 20 points in a game.
Yeah, they did it. They did beat Florida 20-10. They beat South Carolina 20-10.
And Ole Miss, I mean, Ole Miss only put up 24 on them. But if you could put 24 up on them, you could beat them. Like that's the sweet spot. You got to get to about 24 to beat them.
Yeah,
that's pretty hard to do.
I just I don't think they're the 10th best team in the country.
I don't think so. I think there's a couple, but maybe 12.
I think I'd go I think I like them in Georgia next to each other, but I'd put them 15, 16. I'm very not high on LSU or Georgia. And then we got 11 through 15. We got Tennessee, Georgia Tech, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, BYU.
BYU overranked. Notre Dame a little bit overranked. I think Notre Dame should be somewhere around 17. I think BYU should be somewhere around 18. But the teams behind them, I don't think they really have too much of an argument to be put ahead of them. So I think that's why the AP has it the way they do. You really can't make the case for Virginia or USF to be up there. So not too mad over it. But I think they're a little bit overranked. I think they're more so the 16th, 18th best team.
Yeah. So with just looking at that in general, I'm big on this Tennessee team. I think that they are a top 10 team. Like I said, they had one missed field goal. Besides that, played very well. Should have beat Georgia. Georgia Tech, I like Haynes King.
He's a competitor.
He's a competitor. He is going to run the ball on you. I like Haynes King. I'm okay with them at 12. I think that's a good spot for them. I don't think they're better than that right now, or they haven't shown that they're better than that. Notre Dame at 13. They don't have a big win either. They have 2 top 5 losses, to be fair to them. But they don't have a big win, and that's another thing is I don't get how you can put them at 13 when they don't have a big win.
Just name
recognition. Name
and preseason ranking.
Yeah. Oklahoma should have an extra loss as well at 14. They had that game against Auburn where the SEC even came out and said that one of the touchdowns Oklahoma scored where they lost when they won by less than a touchdown was the wrong call on the field. That's when the guy pretended to sub off. They did get that win, obviously, but they just lost to Texas pretty bad.
They didn't look good.
No, I think they probably drop them a little bit more, in my opinion. So the rest of this podcast did not get recorded, and after multiple days of trying to recover it, we have realized that we could not recover it. So we're just going to post it here. We don't want to keep you guys without an episode for a week because half of it is missing. So we will keep it here. We will see you guys next week. This does release every single week, so be on the lookout for that Wednesday release date. Fight on, and we will see you guys next week.